Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. When William Samoei Ruto took over power on 15th of September, he was full of energy. But when William Samoei Ruto again took over power, he was full of bitterness. But when Mwai Kibaki took over power, the man was on a wheelchair. The old man was sickly. The man was full of love, determination, and hope. It is against this background that I want us to compare and contrast William Samoei Ruto's style of leadership, which is emerging, and Mwai Kibaki's style of leadership. The reason I am comparing the two ni kwa sababu William Samoei Ruto kulingana naye anasema anataka kuongoza kama alivyokuwa akiongoza hayati Mwai Kibaki. But when you compare the two, tofauti yao ni kama usiku na mchana. I want us to look at some of the emerging issues, some of the things that are defining the style of leadership that we expect from William Samoei Ruto. Some may say it is too early, but I think the red flags are there for all to see. Everybody is there to see. Siku njema huonekana asubuhi. When you look at Mwai Kibaki, Mwai Kibaki was a gentleman, very cool, very composed. But when you look at William Samoei Ruto, you see a restless person. Even when he is reading the speech, he's not composed. William Samoei Ruto is not composed wakati anasoma hotuba yake. But when you look at Kibaki the gentleman, the man was so much composed and was so cool, and so was the style of leadership. The other thing is that when you look at Mwai Kibaki delegated responsibilities to his ministers. Many people complained, but what they did not understand is that Mwai Kibaki never delegated powers to his ministers. He only delegated responsibilities, and all the ministers were accountable to him. Whatever they said, whatever they did, they were accountable. Some took advantage, like those who were involved in agro-leasing. They took advantage and were involved in corruption. And I think this is only tangible evidence of corruption case in Mwai Kibaki's government. But when you look at William Samoei Ruto is a person who I would call a know-it-all. A person who is there. A person who is everywhere. A person, I am doubting whether he's going to give these people freedom. Because although he has delegated, yes, but the question is he going to give them the freedom to act? Is he going to ensure that he doesn't interfere so much with their work? Is he going to let them excel like Mwai Kibaki did? That is a question that I beg to understand. I remember very clearly that there's one thing that William Samoei Ruto said about Mwai Kibaki delegating responsibilities to his ministers. What did he say? He said, something is amiss with Mwai Kibaki. He needs to swallow his hands. He needs to work. That is what he said. And he said he has given too much powers and responsibility to his ministers. Those are the words of William Samoei Ruto. And now, let me ask you, our viewers, do you think William Samoei Ruto is going to let his CS excel like Kibaki did? Only time will tell. So if you're here for the first time and you're wondering who this person is, this guy is Kaman TV, the tallest man in Black Africa, kindly take a minute, subscribe, like our videos, comment, and let us know where you're watching us from. The other difference is that when I look at Kibaki, I could see a self-confident person. He was full of self-confidence. But when you look at William Samoei Ruto is somehow insecure. And I can say he's insecure because he keep on looking over his shoulders. And one thing that shows somebody is not secure is the way he talk, the way he stand, the way he walk. When you look at Mwai Kibaki, you will see, sio mtu ambaye anainua tu mguu ajue atakanyaga wapi. Ni mtu ambaye anajua kile ambacho anafanya. But when you look at William Samoei Ruto, he has to keep on looking over the shoulders kwa sababu ukiangalia, na ndio sababu unamwona mara kwa mara akijaribu kulaumu, analaumu serikali ya Uhuru Kenyatta, and this because he's insecure. And if you look at the two, Mwai Kibaki inherited a completely finished country. There was no country, there were no roads, there were no hospitals, there was nothing. But when you look at William Samoei Ruto, he is inheriting a very rich country. Infrastructures are everywhere, electricity everywhere. Ukiangalia utaona kwamba haina haja ya kulia, haina haja ya kulalamika, kwa sababu ukiangalia utaona kwamba yeye amerithi, amechukua nchi tajiri sana yenye rasilimali nyingi sana, miundo msingi kila mahali. Kwa hivyo there's no need of lamenting. Again, when I look at Mwai Kibaki, I see a leader. A leader is somebody who tells about a generation. He thinks about a generation. Somebody who is able to think about the grandchildren. But when I look at William Samoei Ruto, I see a politician. A politician thinks about the next general elections. That's why when you look at Ruto's cabinet, you see 2027 general elections. Not even 2027, even 2032. You see it definitely. Whatever he is doing for the sake of winning elections. The difference between, by the way, Kibaki did not care so much whether he was going to win 2007 elections. He did not care so much. And he was so much focused on development. Lakini ukiangalia utaona kwamba William Samoei Ruto is just a politician. And a leader is what the country requires for it to move forward. The other thing is that when you look at these two people, you see Mwai Kibaki was a faithful Catholic. And rarely do you find Kibaki going to the other church. In fact, most of the time, almost 100%, he was a Catholic, a committed Catholic man. But when you look at William Samoei Ruto, sometimes I ask myself, where does he belong? Is he a Protestant? Is he an evangelical church follower? Is he, I don't know. You find him everywhere, mpaka kwa Akorino. And I think there's a very big difference. Kwa sababu unajua, a man, if you want to know how principled a man is, a man who is principled does not keep on moving from one church to the other. A man who is principled does not keep on fellowshipping in any church, because he has faith, he has beliefs, he has his belief systems, and are well grounded, and is only comfortable in that church. And that's why you don't find Muslims in attending Christian churches. That's why you don't find the Hindus coming to the churches, because of their faith. So that's a major departure. There's a very big difference, major difference between the two. Again, when I look at Mwai Kibaki, I see a selfless person, a man who devoted all his life for the benefit of this country, for the goodness of this country. He was so selfless. In fact, Kibaki was not involved in any corruption. I don't know whether our viewers, you can remember any one incident where Kibaki was mentioned as being corrupt. I think even the Auditor General has nothing to say about Mwai Kibaki. If you go to the audit books, I don't think you find Kibaki's name anywhere. But you find his associate, like Kimunya, alikuwa anatajwa hapa na pale. Like Murugaro, alikuwa anatajwa hapa na pale. And you remember Githogo, when he was saying that, when he was stepping these guys, and who were involved in agro-leasing. Again, when you look at William Samoei Ruto, only time will tell. Because we are yet to see a person who is fully devoted for this country. A person who believes in the welfare of this country, the goodness of this country. Somebody who can sacrifice it all for this country. And this is what this country deserves. Again, when you look at Mwai Kibaki, we saw a man of low publicity. Somebody who did not want to be seen. In fact, he did not want to be seen in many occasions. I remember there was a time he went to Karatina and he could not even move out of the vehicle. He just drove all the way, I think, to Udaya, and people were lining, waiting for him. But he only waved and continued this journey. He was not very much interested with publicity. He wanted low-key publicity. But when you look at William Samoei Ruto, Ruto is a publicity man, is a populist leader. Somebody who can promise anything, no matter whether he's going to fulfill. No wonder he has started to fail by promising women 50%, not fulfilling. And this one, there's a difference now, because you see, if you don't want to be a populist, if you want to be a realist, because what I can say is that Kibaki was a pragmatist and a realist. But when you look at William Samoei Ruto, we see a populist president, a president who would just want to be remembered, a president who would just want to be popular with the masses. And I think people will be disappointed by William Samoei Ruto's promises. By the time we will be going to 2027 elections, if at all you go to the 2027 elections, because I doubt whether the Blue States is going to participate in these elections, if at all IBC will not be, it will not have changed. If at all the Supreme Court will be there, I don't think the Blue Nation is going to go to the elections. So what I'm saying is that we need somebody who can actually keep his word. The other difference, the other major departure between these two is that Kibaki was an economist, a true economist. An economist, somebody who looks at things the way they are, and that's why you see when he left power, wakati aliacha uongozi, ulipata kwamba madeni yalikuwa machache sana, tuko madeni mengi. Today the debt ceiling is hitting 8.1 trillion, and I think William Samoei Ruto has his work cut out. Kwa kile ambacho tunajua ni kwamba as an economist alikuwa anajua mikakati ambayo inafaa kupagwa, alikuwa anajua miundo msingi ambayo ilikuwa inafaa kupagwa. Lakini unapoangalia William Samoei Ruto, I've said William Samoei Ruto is a politician. Don't expect too much from politicians. A politician can promise to build a bridge even where there is no river. They can do this. They promise anything. They can promise heaven on earth. They can promise anything without fulfilling, and they don't care, because what there is, according to politicians, have no. In politics, we see there are no permanent enemies. There are no permanent friends. Anything is possible in politics. It's a game of possibilities and impossibilities. But when it comes to an economist is things that works, math that add up, mathematics that are adding up. Something that is not adding up is not making any sense, and that is the difference. The other thing is that when you look at Mwai Kibaki was a very patient person. Very patient person. Some people mistook this as a weakness. It was not a weakness. And good readers are patient. But when you look at William Samoei Ruto, he is very impatient. When he was being sworn in, immediately, he said he was going to, in fact, the following day, he presided over the swearing in of Supreme Court judges. Not Supreme Court judges, Court of Appeal judges. And the funny question that any person would ask, did he sit down? Did he go through the files? Did he consult and maybe find out why Uhuru Kenyatta could not appoint these people? What is it that he saw that he could not appoint them? Why? You see, this somebody who is very patient. Again, when you look at the way he moved so fast and to give the police service financial independence, you see, I think he overstepped his mandate, because you see, he did not go through the parliament. Parliament is supposed to do this work. This parliament that gives money. It is not the president. Even the way he gave the judiciary 3 billion, this is not his work. His work is to execute through parliament. Parliament is the one that passes the budget. It's the one that discusses the budget. It's the one that allocates money. So when you find the president doing this is because the man is very impatient. So it is very good to be patient and look at things from all perspectives before involving yourself or before making some drastic positions. The other thing is that when you look at Mwai Kibaki was a partner wa mwananchi. In fact, he was so common. Sometimes, in fact, Kibaki, what you saw is what he meant. Akisema hivi ndivyo alivyosema. Akisema wewe ni bure. And that's what he believed. Akisema wewe sijui mavi ya kuku nini, the way he used to talk. That is what he meant. He's just himself. He did not pretend anything. He did not hide behind anything. He was just himself. But let me ask you, when you see William Samoei Ruto, do you think what you see is what there is? Because I tend to believe that William Samoei Ruto has two personalities. There's a personality that we know, and there's a personality that we don't know. And those who are close to him maybe can tell us one day. Those who have stayed with him, they'll tell you that William Samoei Ruto has two personalities. The one personality that we see, the outside personality, and the one that is only known to very, very few. There's so much to compare and contrast. And next time, we shall look at the difference between him and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. So, as I said in the beginning, if you are here and you have not subscribed, or you have been watching our videos and have not subscribed, kindly take a minute. Subscribe. Just hit that red button. For our viewers, comment, like, comment. For supporters, we are very, very humbled. Continue supporting us. We are very, very humbled. Those who are buying me coffee, I like that. I like that. You give me more energy. You make me bold to continue with this long journey. Because by the way, we are here for a long overhaul. We are not just about to give in. We are not just about to surrender. It's a battle that we must win. Because you see, Mwai Kibaki gave us freedom. Freedom to talk. Freedom of speech. And I doubt whether it's becoming very difficult to keep on forgetting William Samoei Ruto name. So William Samoei Ruto, I doubt whether he's going to give this freedom, especially to the members of the Fourth Estate. I know he has some issues with, I think, Citizen. Kati alikuwa anasema sijui nini. And Mwai Kibaki did not deny them freedom. He gave us freedom of speech, freedom of press, expression, name it. And this is the Kenya that we want. So that's why I'm saying we are here for a long overhaul. We are here for a whole. That is my take. Gashis Keman, the tallest man in Black Africa. Bye-bye.